I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Event is coming soon. YouTube channel. Here's the latest intel.
The future of humanity you're not allowed to know. Special report from Sister Sierra. Adolf Hitler once said, "Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it." Sounds like the US government. Albert Einstein said, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything." I have a question for you. If I was to describe an American politician whose popularity among the people of his nation was due to his hatred of the free trade agreements that were destroying jobs, was openly trashing the political elites for creating a political system whereby the ordinary people were left out of the decision-making processes for the nation, nearly every day railed against European nations for not doing their fair share, and in spite of the daily attacks against him by the mainstream press was able to not only run for President of the United States, but win it too, how many of you would think I'm talking about Donald Trump? Everyone who thought I was talking about Donald Trump are mistaken, and, also, forgiven because the president I was referring to was assassinated 115 years ago, and since then has been relegated to the dustbin of history by the American elite classes because not only were they terrified of this man, they despised him, and his name was William McKinley. As the last veteran of the American Civil War, 1861 to 1965, President McKinley never forgot the debt the United States owed Russia for saving their entire nation during this dark period of history as British and French troops massed in Canada and Mexico to invade a war-torn U.S. but who were stopped in their tracks when Tsar Alexander II sent his entire naval fleet to the U.S. threatening a global war against both Britain and France should they even dare set one foot upon American soil. On October 24, 1863, the London satirical publication Punch published a vicious caricature of U.S. President Abraham Lincoln and Russian Tsar Alexander II, demonizing these two friends as bloody oppressors. So, when McKinley became president in 1897, the British Empire was all-powerful and ruled the oceans of the world with their mighty fleet dictating global trade through their free trade agreements that left hundreds of millions in poverty, destroyed entire nations and indigenous populations and reduced to slavery and abject poverty all who opposed them. And in 1892, McKinley warned the American people about the British by saying, "Under free trade the trader is the master and the producer the slave. Protection is but the law of nature, the law of self-preservation, of self-development, of securing the highest and best destiny of the race of man. It is said, that protection is immoral. Why, if protection builds up and elevates 63 million, the U.S. population, of people, the influence of those 63 million of people elevates the rest of the world. We cannot take a step in the pathway of progress without benefiting mankind everywhere. Well, they say, buy where you can buy the cheapest. Of course, that applies to labor as to everything else. Let me give you a maxim that is 1,000 times better than that. And it is the protection maxim, buy where you can pay the easiest. And that spot of earth is where labor wins its highest rewards. And not just in words did President McKinley take on the British Empire, but by his actions too, in proposing with Russia that they jointly create the largest railway system in the world that would stretch from Europe, across the Bering Strait into Alaska, continue down through North America into Mexico, and end in the South American nation of Argentina. And that President McKinley labeled as the future for humanity. On September 14, 1901, President McKinley's dream for the future of humanity by the creation of this U.S.-Russian rail system that would have destroyed the power of the British Empire was cut down by an assassin's bullet, with his staunchly pro-British Vice President Theodore Roosevelt taking power and not only abandoning what could have been human history's most uplifting and critical undertaking, but his, also, using the money allocated for it by the U.S. Congress to, instead, build the Panama Canal, beginning in 1904, thus assuring the century-long world wars and global economic upheaval that has followed, even to this present day. Though McKinley's dream died in 1901 with his assassination, in Russia, Tsar Nicholas II, in 1905, began to revive it with he too knowing its worth to humanity, but whose plans, like McKinley's, were stopped when the British-trained Japanese Navy invaded Russia in 1905. Now I'm going to stop here with this history, as many of you may be thinking how this is relevant to today, and here's why it is. In 2011, for the first time in over 100 years, McKinley's, and then Tsar Nicholas II's, dream for the future of humanity with this historic rail system was made into Russian President Vladimir Putin's dream too, and who allocated the staggering sum of $65 billion to begin this railway with its first part, the Siberia-Alaska Rail and Tunnel to bridge the Bering Strait. Even going by the most conservative estimates, once this railway system enters into North America, it will provide over 7 million Americans with high-paying jobs that will last a generation and boost the U.S. economy by over $50 trillion by 2040. And the estimates of what this railway system will do for the poverty-stricken nations of Mexico, Central and South America, not to mention Europe and Asia, is equally as staggering. So, and in case you've ever wondered about this, there is a very good reason that last December President Putin praised Donald Trump as being bright and talented, because everyone knows that if Trump is elected as the next American president, a new era of human history will begin. However, when I said everyone knows, you, of course and as always, were excluded because your elite political leaders and mainstream news won't tell you the truth, which is why only 6% of you even believe in mainstream news anymore, and even the globally admired Reporters Without Borders this past week labeled the garbage being published by the mainstream press as a new era of propaganda. And while these mainstream media companies are caught in what they call a crap trap, that is mass-producing trashy clickbait so they can claim huge audiences, those few of us remaining to report the truth to you are becoming nearly extinct. After all, if even the most powerful mainstream media companies are going broke, how much worse off do you think we are? All of you are. And it matters not if you like it or not, the masters of your fate and destiny, so don't you think it's critical to know the truth? Have great peace with God. Sister Sierra. Dublin, Ireland.
For additional information, please visit our website, theeventiscomingsoon.com, and our Facebook page at facebook.com/theeventiscomingsoon, your alternative news source for Disclosure and the Event. Make sure you search our library of videos. You may have missed some very important information and intel. Remember to subscribe to receive updates on our new videos. Stay tuned.
We leave you in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth and rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one Creator. Victory of the light.
Event is coming soon. YouTube channel.